I'm actually really curious about that. What was it like to take in Halloween for the first time? Like, because I know that it left a lasting impression, but again, I don't have that perspective. Because I mean, if it's, I mean, clearly it didn't bother you that much, you know, in the long run, if it's your favorite, you know, scary movie. But I imagine that probably, like, you know, for like the fresh, like, of coming home and everything, like, what was that whole experience like for you to experience that movie for the first time?
That was horrifying. I am not kidding. Now, just, you know, if the young people, bless your little hearts, can just try for a minute to put yourselves in 1978, going to see a movie like that for the first time is, never had anything like that before.
Right.
And
wasn't it like technically like one of the first, if not the first slasher movie? It's like, I'm sure there was maybe something
for
before.
For me, I guess, I know Texas Chainsaw was like an oldie but a goodie, and that didn't appeal to me a whole lot. Like then I didn't, that wasn't, but there was something about the simplicity, I think, of Halloween. At least I see it now, where, you know, they had so little to work with in that movie. And the acting, I mean, could be a little campy, but you know, hell, I mean, you know, some guy in a white mask was chasing me, I'd grab a coat hanger too. I would grab whatever I could find. You know, but what it did was, it was the first movie, I think, that really brought horror to your front door.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You weren't like out at a cabin in the woods.
No.
Like it was just,
It came in your home. And he never stopped. He just never stops. And I really thought, to me, even today, I think the storyline of that movie is pretty brilliant.
It is. Yeah.
Because, you know, once you get it, once you have to see number 2 to understand why he's targeting her, of course. But that all comes together, and it doesn't have to be complicated. He's just a sick individual that just had unfinished business, so he decided to come back. You know, so that one truly scared me. Actually, I think was it Aunt Heidi and Elisa and I? It might have been just me and Aunt Heidi. But I know that your Papa picked us up.
Oh, Papa. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He dropped us off and picked us up over at the little theater that we know and love and is now gone. And
it's now a CrossFit or whatever. Yeah. I don't want to get fit now.
Yeah, no. And so I was supposed to spend the night at Aunt Heidi's, and
oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. So,
yeah. Pulled into the driveway, and this is so stupid, but it was terrifying because I'm coming off this movie. Right?
How old were you guys at this time?
Well, 1970. Don't make me do math.
Well, no, so like you were in high school, so so like what? Like
15.
Oh, really? It was that early?
15, 16. It was 78. I graduated in 83. Carry the 2. I don't know. I mean, I might have been a freshman, but yeah. And so I got out of the car. They were waiting for me. And so I unlocked the door, and your grandma wasn't home. It was just the 2 of us. Grandma wasn't home, and we had kind of that big ranch house. Big sprawling ranch house. And I opened the door, used my key, and I walked in, and I heard this horrible sound. This horrible, horrible buzzing sound, and it was like piercing. And I just remember that it just froze me. And I walked backwards out that front door. And Heidi goes, we looked over, and there you were, just walking backwards with this awful look on your face. And I had the door open, and Papa's like, what's the matter? I go, I'm not going in there. I'm like, Dad, something's wrong. He went in there, and here your grandma made she made something in the oven. And back then, before we had digital, ovens, had a little dial that you turned. Click, 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 click. And so if you turned it off and you went past the 12, it goes over again. And that's the
oh my God, that is
the oven buzzer was buzzing. It was terrifying. So went to Aunt Heidi's. I went in, grabbed my shit as fast as I could, and he stood at the door. waiting.
You know, Papa.
Yeah, nothing's gonna hurt you. And I remember I got in the car and I said, "Floor it."
Get out of here.
Went down the hill, and she and I went and slept in the basement because that's where she'd like to hang out over the weekend. And we had a little bitty TV down there. And then she turned it off, and it was pitch dark. And I woke up in the middle of the night. I couldn't see anything. And I remember going, "Heidi." Hi, and she's sound asleep, and I woke her up, and I'm like, "Turn on the light."
Dude, Heidi's just not afraid of anything.
She wasn't afraid of anything.
She was fearless.
That's one of the times she was truly annoyed with me. And she just like got up and like walked over, clicked, her eyes are closed. She goes back and she says, "I turned on the light, and there you are with the blanket like up to here." I was horrified.
Yeah, because that'll stop a butcher knife.
Yeah. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Yeah.